just what is the most common made mistake within the world of auto detailing? I have no idea. I just know I'm going to use it to illustrate a point in this moment. So that's what I would call is, and this is a massive generalization, and it's all about seeing, the ability to actually see the details. For after all, it is called detailing, not generalizing. Thank you, Steve Vandervorst. So it's not generalizing. So what I find, especially training new guys, is they just do not have a trained eye for the details. So if you lack the ability to dissect everything down into the most subtle of nuances, you will fail to get the details right. Now, I'm not going to go into pricing and how it's very appropriate to deliver the type of service that's appropriate to the price established, and that's between you and the customer. What I want to illustrate is the ability to train the eye. I remember in art class when I was taking sculpting, it was life sculpting, so we literally sculpted bodies, people, faces, whatever. And my art teacher told me your #1 goal or challenge will be training your eye to see. And it did not make sense to me at the moment. But after being in the world of detailing for so long, I realized that when you go to detail something, because there's so many surfaces and angles and nuances to everything, you've got to be able to dissect it piece by piece by piece. And I'm gonna add a second little lesson in this moment, maybe, we'll see. Well, it'll be appropriate. So let's check this out. Here we have, I'm working on a GMC. Oh, there's my daughter working, there's the mirror. Working in a GMC truck. Now check this out. Not very dirty, is it? Gotta love my world. And yes, I hear the comments starting to flow. I paid my dues. I have detailed the shitstorm cars. That's not really my world anymore. Thank you very much. So this seat, for example, the obvious is the headrest, the back of the seat, the side of the seat, the front of the seat. Well, I have seen the obvious be completely invisible to the newbie. So what they will do is they will be fixated on cleaning the front of the seat, because generally they're going to be working from there. Then when they get the back, they will clean the back of the seat. When they get to the back, they will clean the back of the seat. So what happens, let's say this headrest, because what they're looking at is the surfaces, all these surfaces, which then immediately transition into the back of the seat. Maybe they'll get here, and then you've got this pocket holder here. So they naturally clean the back of the pocket holder. But what about up here? What they'll forget is, if I can lift it up, underneath here. And you may think at a casual observation like, whoa, no big deal. How dirty is it going to get under here? Well, that's where you'd be surprised, because dust floats and literally gets everywhere. So if this is all meticulously cleaned around here, and then Johnny Customer, or maybe Johnny Customer's friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, brother, sister, whatever, decide to lift this up, then Johnny Customer in the driver's seat glances over and he's like, whoa, look how dirty that is. Because once you make this all perfect, this is really going to show how dirty this area is. So you have to literally take this headrest as a separate entity. All areas around it, including under here. I've had people spill coffee, spill milk, maybe they've got a kid in the back seat, whatever. So if this is down and you get some spillage going on in here and you don't take the time to lift this up and verify, then it could be a oops moment, just like this pocket. So this pocket, guys will clean it, but they will not think like, oh wait, that's a pocket. Maybe at best they'll pull the lip down and clean it. Occasionally I'll see a guy that will actually reach in here and check for crap in there. And now let me introduce you to the second part of the video. Look what I found in reaching, I'll throw it over there. This is what I found in this pocket. This is a business card. I think Jewel, I think that's a vapor manufacturer. So not much stuff back there, right? So here we have a wad of cash. What do you do with that wad of cash? Because it was not just casually sticking right here. I had to go down deep and really verify that there's no trash in there, because you never know which customer is going to check, which customer won't check. You just don't know. There cash is. Now, the casual observation would be like, oh, okay, Johnny customer, like for example, who sticks a bunch of cash in there? Was it the driver who reached back because this is his little convenient stash hole? Or is it a passenger that stuck it there? So you have no idea if that's the owner's cash, if he even knows about it. What about this? What if that was a test? Because this is the first time I'm doing this customer's car. You'd be surprised that people will set up tests. This is one of them. So, what's your moral compass like? To me, it's just a non-issue. You always, no matter what, I don't care if it's a single dollar, you give it back to the customer. Now, you could just throw it back in there, but what I like to do, because I like organization anyways, and this is obviously not trash, I will put it back where a customer will be able to see it. Not necessarily there, but somewhere where they'll be able to see it. This is obvious trash that I can't decide for the customer if they want it or they don't. So that goes up there and I will save it for them. What I want to hear from you guys is, because I have found all kinds of things in cars. I found as much as $10,000 of cash. I found $800 of cash wedged underneath a seat of another truck in an envelope. Here's another moment of cash, not a huge amount, but nonetheless cash. I've found guns, vibrators, used women's panties, and I will let you interpret the word used however you want. I want to hear from you guys specifically about money. Have you found any money? So to drive this point further, and I've got a book and I'll include the link to my selected reading, what I call requirement. It's called The Speed of Trust. That book is so eye-opening. You do not realize at every level of your life, in every relationship, how critical trust is. So that cash that's a moment that has to do with trust. One of my operating value systems or principles is exceptionalism in everything I do in a manner that creates trust at every level. And I kind of slurred that word. Creates trust at every level. So if I operate with that principle in mind, so every decision will be filtered through that. If I do it this way, will it create trust or will it diminish trust? So there's always a choice, and sometimes it's difficult to know. To me, the cash, there's no gray area there. That's just black and white. You either are stealing and you take it, or you're honest and you return it. No gray area there. But that's how I operate. Another rule in which I operate is, for example, because I have customers that literally just trust me explicitly. Here's the keys, help yourself to the house, the refrigerator, whatever, Darren, no one's gonna be home, lock it up when you're done, stash the keys somewhere. I mean, it's just all over the board. But whenever it's a new customer, or even current customers, I don't even like to do it with current customers, because there's a lot of men specifically, and women, that will leave their purse in the car. Or men that will leave their wallet in the side compartment of the door panel in the driver's seat. I never leave that. The minute I get there and I'm with the customer, or the minute I get there and the customer's not present, I will either drag them out of the house, go up to the front door, whatever it takes, get them on the phone if they're not there and say, hey, Johnny customer, your wallet is here in the door panel. I want to let you know, because I've had too many situations with employees where, how do you verify? If the customer comes back, they forgot that they spent $40, $60, $100, whatever, and now it's gone and they can't remember spending that, you will be the very first person that will be considered guilty. Absolutely. It's just a given. So that's my operating rule, is if there is a wallet or a purse, that's the first thing that gets taken from that car, and I show it to the customer and make sure it gets out of that car. So that there's no at least I've limited the possibility as much as possible that they could come back to me and say, hey, Darren, something's missing from my wallet, i.e. cash, money, whatever. I want to limit that as much as possible. So I want to hear from you guys some of the stuff that you found in cars, funny stuff, disturbing stuff, gross stuff, money stuff, gun stuff, anything goes. I want to hear about it. I've shared you some of my stuff, and I've been doing this so long, I can't remember, but those are the highlights of the things that I found. Oh yeah, always remember, check below the video. There's always going to be links down there, so check it out.